And that's us. Look at me bogging. We'll get
Buenos dias.
looking at my watch. Buenos dias, my friend.
How you doing?
We are here.
We are indeed.
We are here at last. So, yeah, last time...
I'm still pinching myself.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. So just for everyone, we are now sitting in Port Ginesta, just south, what, about 10 miles, 5 miles south of Barcelona? What is it?
Yeah, about that. A bit more, about 12 miles, I think.
12 miles.
Yeah.
So we made it. We made it. The last we spoke to you, we just left Ciutadella.
We just left Ciutadella after the day, the fix-it day, wasn't it?
Day,
When
yeah.
everything that could go wrong went wrong, and we had to resolve it all at breakneck speed in order to stop us killing each other.
Yep, exactly.
I seem to recall.
So we left port at about 10 a.m.
No, it was a bit late. It was later than that. It was midday, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember? We actually left. We left the dock at 12.
That's correct.
Then we went out and did a bit of sailing around, just testing sails and messing about because the wind was nice.
Yep.
And then we actually got onto course at 1 p.m. or 1300, should I say?
With about, what was it,
118 miles to
118, I was going to say 120, but we'll not argue over 2 miles.
No.
So we had 120 miles to go. Engine running. A little bit nervous, I suppose, but with our new inline filter, we had a wee look at it, didn't we? And it was full of shit.
Yeah, I think the nervousness was probably due to the fact that we couldn't quite believe we were maybe going to get there. And I sort of accentuate the word maybe because it was the night, that sort of the previous night. The turnaround was still very fresh in my memory, and I thought, it's not far relative to how far we've come, but it's a long way for things to go wrong because it's still a 20-hour ride, isn't it, or a bit less up to Barcelona. But anyway,
I think with a few, because when we've had so many false dawns over the last 6, 7, 8 weeks.
No, I think should we put in revised plans?
Okay. Yeah, well, there's been a few revisions, a few fixes. So yeah, but it was so lovely just to be going, wasn't it? Gee, we're out of here.
Well, it was a glorious day as well, wasn't it? Do you remember?
Beautiful,
Fantastic
beautiful
day.
Mm. And off we set, and it was absolutely fantastic. Glorious day, lovely weather, no wind.
No, there was no wind. It's a shame. Did we get any at all?
No, not really. We had a little bit of it. Was, if you remember, it was coming directly behind us.
Oh yeah.
And we got some for a while, and then we had to put. We played about, fennelled with a head sail for a while, and messed around. But I think in the end, we just realised it was the lesser of the two evils. Keep the engine running. At least we didn't have a Mistral bumping in against us or trying to.
Yeah, I mean, it was your second best option, really, wasn't it? After you either have nice wind, or no wind and a nice sea, and we had the sort of the option number 2, which gave us a nice average speed, and the miles ticked off merrily, didn't they? We did have to slow down before we got here.
Yep,
do you remember?
We did. Again.
Yeah,
I'm starting to learn that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was. I'm trying to remember what did we? Oh, we had lasagna, did we? We had a delicious lasagna to the freezer.
Yeah.
And that kept us going. That was one we'd made. That was an Italian lasagna. we'd made that in Palermo, so we knew it would save for a rainy day. But yeah, it was actually quite an uneventful trip. Now looking back on it,
thankfully,
thankfully, I was taking that with it was just one of those things that everything was lovely, and I just remember as the dark. I mean, it was an amazing sunset. I mean, daytime just went through. Sun started to go down. We had our dinner, and it was still absolutely flat calm. And I remember when the glorious sunset, went on forever. And then once the sun had gone and the stars came out, I remember looking at the water, going, "What's that? What's that?" And then I realised it was so flat you could see the stars
reflected in the sea,
which I'd never seen before. It was truly.
The only ripple was our bow wave.
Yeah.
To be fair, wasn't it?
Yep.
It was quite surreal, actually.
You caught a couple of dolphins, though, didn't you?
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you because I was down below messing about at something, so I didn't hear the call. Dolphin. So we think we saw a porpoise.
Yeah, there was porpoises.
A couple of porpoises. So yeah, it was just a beautiful. So the night time was very uneventful. We just did the 2 on, 2 off.
It couldn't have been more of a contrast to the previous month, actually.
To the previous 1,100 miles.
Yes, indeed. It was almost like a welcome home kind of thing. Like we were sort of unwinding, halfway across, weren't we? By the time we got here, we were very relaxed and like, well, we've done it. Yeah. And then we came in, went straight to the fuel dock.
Well, first of all, I remember hitting the halfway mark, and going, well, if anything goes wrong now, we just kind of have to go on, because there's no point going back.
No, I know. That's right. We were counting down from there, weren't we? We got halfway. That was it.
But then, of course, you hit me with the... we were punching into a little bit of current, and then you come up and you said to me, you do know we're going to have to slow down again. And we dropped the boat speed to 4
knots.
4 knots.
I went down to 3.5 at one point, actually. Yeah.
Just so we didn't come in here in darkness. Because I liked your little analogy where you said, well, we've come all this far, we don't want to run aground.
No, it'd be a shame to get stranded in the mouth of our home port, wouldn't it, really?
It would be quite embarrassing.
What it is during the winter, you get lots of storms and lots of big weather, and all this coast here is sand, and the dredger doesn't usually come out till about sort of the end of March, April to dredge all of the entrances to all the ports along this coast. So you have to be slightly careful because obviously you get a big storm that brings a load of sand, and all of a sudden you've got enough water to get in, and then you haven't the day after, literally. So we'd had a bit of experience in Italy with people telling stories about how deep it was. And
5 metres. Everything was 5 metres.
Yeah, is it? And sure enough, I thought, well, after all this long journey, let's go in daylight, because it's only a question of a couple of hours. Yeah. And get it right, and if we, at least we've got half a chance of picking a good route in the, when it's daylight as opposed to nighttime. Yeah,
and I suppose because it's a double sandbar.
There's three actually.
Three at the entrance, and then you had said to me that there's a huge wall just behind camera here. It's about 5 or 6 meters, 4 meters, 5 meters high. Yeah. But you were telling me the waves were coming over that a few weeks ago.
Oh, they do, yeah. I mean, at the start of last week, they had 7 meter waves here.
Yeah, so that probably would have stirred the sandbar.
Yeah. It certainly focused my mind as we were coming in.
But yeah, in we came. The sun was up, over to the fuel berth. And
we didn't go to 0-0 on the depth gauge though. We came in over the bars, and the bars tend to move position. But I think we went down to 0.4.
Yeah, 0.4 was the best we got.
Was low enough.
I think I said, I feel like Buzz Aldrin as we're landing on the moon here. I was just shouting out that not the heights,
0.7,
but the
0.6,
the depth,
0.5,
0.7.
Yeah,
and it just kept going up and down. And I went, "Is that us through?" No, there's another one.
Yeah,
there's another one. Oh, flipping heck! But yeah, into the fuel berth, and huge smiles, I have to say. I was so happy.
Well, when that first line went ashore and we were on.
We've made it.
That's good, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was, it was very, I was quite emotional about it because, it'd been, 1,260 miles or something like that, 1,230 since the...
Kind of done the hard way.
Yeah, the hard way since the 2nd of January.
Although, I tell you what, Neptune threw us a very, very lucky break from Palermo, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we basically did the other half of the trip without stopping.
Yeah.
Okay, there was the glitch in Minorca.
Yeah, glitch.
But
you can call it that.
That's a glitch, yeah. But I think that it wasn't a glitch. It was a desperate disappointment, to be honest. It was horrible. I've said all this already.
Yeah.
But I'm still reeling from the shock.
Yeah.
But no, we had the southern Italy, which was predicted to be rough, was horrible.
Yeah.
But then
definitely a game of two halves.
It definitely was, wasn't it? Yeah, we were on the losing side the first half, and then the oranges at half time in Palermo, and we were back on in form.
We were 3-0 down at half time.
Fucking hell, yeah. All own goals as well.
But yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely to be here, and it's a beautiful port. I'm really chuffed with it, I must admit, and it feels like home. It feels like home.
He sounds a bit like Columbus.
Yeah.
When Columbus first landed, after his original Atlantic crossing, he actually said, "This is the most beautiful land eyes have ever seen." It wasn't true, of course. They've been at sea for 3 months with no water and a grumpy crew, and of course, anywhere looks fantastic. And I think Robin certainly had a similar feeling when he got here. It was like, this is the most beautiful port I've ever come to. it was one way we didn't have to move for a bit.
And it was a real bonus that the diesel was only 178 a litre.
Oh, was it? Is it cheaper? Oh, of course, there's a subsidy here, isn't there?
It was 210
in Italy, yeah.
Yeah, for that dirty shit we got.
For the diesel that wasn't really diesel. The lumpy fuel.
Yeah. So, I suppose it's a good time to reflect. As Ian would always say, I think I told you this story, whenever we did charters before and we all sat for breakfast on the last day, Ian always said, what was your favourite moment? You know, so I could ask you the same sort of thing, you know, like, you know, what's the 2 or 3 worst and 2 or 3 best? I'm sure they'd probably be similar to mine.
Oh, you want a very quick resume? I'm not ready for this. Hang on a second.
I mean, all right, you know, worst... Start with it. You know, what was the worst? Let's say the worst moment for you.
Worst moment for me was definitely turning round.
Yeah.
15 miles offshore, 20 miles offshore Menorca to go back.
Yeah.
To actually go back was 20 miles because we had another rough run with the engine. That was tough. Then I think. Bad moment number 2 was probably the night crossing going towards Crotone, where the engine blurred and we had the low pressure forming and the big wind coming from the north, and we had to get to Crotone and we weren't sure if we were going to be able to get in because of the engine problem. That was moment number 2. I think moment number 3 was when I went up on deck in Palermo and saw we had no bow lines and parted. And I thought,
that was your experience.
This isn't great.
Yeah. Well, I suppose if I reflect them, you know, my worst, you could probably guess, was whenever it dawned on us that when you told me that the fuel berth wasn't going to be open.
Oh, for the following day?
Yeah, that absolutely floored me, because having gone through so much and fixed so much, that was the one that we had absolutely no control over. You know, there's no electric, you can't get fuel.
That was a toughie, wasn't it?
Oh, bloody hell. And yeah, absolutely, whenever the engine glitched again for that. You know, obviously the first time it glitched coming out of Brindisi, that upset me. You know, the oil before we got to Brindisi was like one of those things. Okay, you expect this sort of thing, but when the engine failed, you know, play it up the second time, that was rough. I was going, oh, bloody hell! I thought we'd got all this behind us, and then, as you said, whenever Zach woke me up and said, "Mark thinks the engine's playing up again," I went, oh, bloody hell, what's wrong now? It was, you know, the engine issues all along with it, with the things that got to me. Well, but what about, so it wasn't all bad, you know? No,
I think you asked me to list the low points.
Yeah, so that was 3 good low points and 3 good low points. So where are we in the highs?
I think when we got to our berth here where we are now, and you went, it's better looking at it than looking for it.
Yeah, we've been looking for it for a while, haven't we? Yeah, that was good. And the dolphins at night. With the dust
that was pretty good.
Such a lift.
I think also my high point actually was when we popped out the other end of the Messina Strait.
Yeah, and we were buggered, weren't we? Absolutely shattered there, because that was tense going through that.
It was. There was 6 hours of tension.
Yeah, it was, and with the wind and the bloody ferries and the tide against us, and the wrong feckin' app.
It was. That was tension. That was because it went from 0 wind as we came around the corner, and we're thinking, we're going to just drift up here, to 20 knots on the nose. Don't know how strong it's going to get. You know, ferries charging across the thing all night long. Then suddenly you got not the wind against you, you got the tide against you as well, because of the app was wrong. And you think, oh blimey, you know, this really is pushing your luck a wee bit.
Yeah.
So you at night, wind with tide, but both against you. So you've got all 3 elements. Then coupled with, you know, you're not sure if your engine's in really good condition. You're not sure what the ferry's going to do next. So that was I thought,
considering that right away.
Yeah, that was kind of a tough part of the journey. That's 2. So yeah, going across. Anyway, that's it really. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was
with regard to nasty bits and good bits. Popping out of Messina. When I went round the corner at Crotone, and there was that lad Julio at the other end, and I waved to him, and he went, "You can come and park here." I thought, "Yeah, that's me."
And then the icing and the cake,
and there was a croissant and the coffee. Indeed. Yeah.
So whenever you,
but there was, the humour. We were good humoured the whole way through.
Oh yeah, there wasn't a crossword, and there was plenty of laughs. That's for sure.
Yeah. Food was good.
Food was good. It was a lot of fun. We had, you know, in the whole trip, we had Finlay on board for a while. We had Ian on board for a while, and we had Zach on board for a while, and we did the whole thing. And there certainly was. There was lots of laughs. There was only a couple of dippers where we had to lift each other up a little bit. But
Robin, I need a pep talk.
I don't think I'll ever forget that. But listen, whenever you suggested this in October, November, let's do this in January, you know, I'm sure there was a couple of times when you're going, why did I say that?
Yeah, I didn't think you'd agree. I thought there's no way he's going to want to do that.
And then I thought there's no way he would ask me to do that if he didn't know what he was doing.
No, I think both of us performed well, but we did have. I mean, we missed that initial weather window, didn't we? The very first one where we could have got a lot further than we did, and that kind of put us
on the back foot.
Definitely, it was tough.
Yeah.
But you know, as we discuss, we're both reasonably good at what we're doing.
Yeah.
The boat, it's a good boat, albeit problems with engine. I'm not sure how many problems with the engine and how many problems with the fuel, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
We had that initial problem where the oil leak, which was a job that was badly finished with the other people up at Boutish.
Yeah.
But then after that, then we had the refuel at Brindisi, which I think is where we probably picked up the duff fuel.
Yeah.
So there was issues which probably came to light, which we're glad they did, because as you said, kicking the can down the road.
Yeah, it saves me having to deal with this later on in the season.
But I mean,
that's the best thing.
I think I won't be rushing to cross the Mediterranean in the winter again.
No, I think you can get offered a delivery job myself.
I'll do it in June.
You know what? I've done that before. Tick that one off.
But I was going to say, I think you can, as the new owner of this yacht, you could put a very big feather in your cap and say, well, you actually delivered her yourself.
Yeah.
From
with a little help.
Yeah, a little help. It takes two, doesn't it? From one end of the Med to the other.
Yeah, I mean, we crossed quite a few seas: the Adriatic and the Ionian, and the one that begins with T that I can never say.
Tyrrhenian.
Yeah. The Balearic, and the Sea of Sardinia, of course, which is between Sardinia and the Balearics, which I didn't know until I looked it up.
Is that Sea of Sardinia?
Yeah, that's what.
Is that what they call it? They call it the Sardinia Channel.
No, I think they call it Sea. Well,
so you've done Adriatic, Ionian, Tyrrhenian, Sea of Sardinia, and the Balearic.
Yeah,
check you out.
Yeah,
that's five out of 7. You haven't left the Med yet.
I'll do that next week. Yeah, I know it's been an experience, and I've loved every minute of it. You know, it's going to be a bit dull for a while.
He's been really chirpy, honestly. All things considered, I mean, he's kept smiling.
Yeah. How much?
Unlike me.
Yeah. It was when you did say to me at one point. I can't remember where it was. It was in Crotone. When you said to the fella, "Here, how much would you? Can you give us a cost for staying here until May?" And I went, Jesus.
I thought I'd better ask him.
Well, yeah.
At that point,
that's how we're both feeling though. Let's just get off this and go home. But we're here, and all is good. And that's really...
Well, you said at the beginning of this whole thing, I think it was in plug number 1, we will prevail.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's brave words.
Yeah, well, naivety is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
But it worked out. I mean, it's funny, because of course I've had a few of my oppos on various different, social medias and phone calls and stuff. And they go, "Oh, you're back?
Yeah, you made it.
We didn't think we was going to see you till the end of May." But because I mean the weather's been horrendous in the Mediterranean. If it wasn't blowing 50 knots where we were, it was blowing 50 knots at the other end. I mean, it's just been crazy.
Medicanes and all sorts.
Yeah. So there was a considerable surprise by quite a number of people. I mean, the other thing you got to bear in mind is we've just done sort of 5 weeks or 4.5 weeks at sea or whatever it was. Not all at sea, but all the time we were at sea, we didn't see anybody else.
Yeah.
There was a couple of tankers, 1 or 2 container ships, and the only other sailing vessel we saw
was Zatara.
They were following us. So that's to give you an idea of how popular it is, this particular pastime.
That's very true. That was the only sail we saw.
We saw the 2 lads in the catamaran.
Yeah. And
there was somebody well offshore in the distance.
In the Adriatic.
Yeah. Who were going the other way.
Yeah, they were nearly home.
They were. They were out for a day sail, I think, those people. Anyway.
Yeah. As my friend Derek would say, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's why this marina is full of boats that haven't moved
since October.
And probably won't move for another month anyway.
Just to let you know, I went for a very nice sail yesterday in Spain this time of year. It's a bit grey today, but we've just had... Well, since we've been here, it's been glorious, isn't it?
Yeah, fantastic.
And I went out and had a lovely sail yesterday afternoon, albeit short. But, so happy days.
Yeah, shorts and T-shirt.
Shorts and T-shirt. I'll follow your lead.
Yeah.
Good. So all remains for us to do now is find him a bigger gangplank.
Yeah. We got to get a nice hydraulic passerelle.
Yeah. Okay. I know someone's got one of them, but you might notice if you take it.
All right, my friend.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
And that's us, and thanks for watching.
All right.
And hopefully there'll be another one of these at some point.
There will.
Whenever we're bound to have another adventure.
Well, we're going to sell down to the Blairicks, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty soon.
Yeah, May time. Okay, folks. Thanks a lot for watching.
Cheerio, everybody.
And we will talk to you.
Well done for staying awake.
Yeah, thanks. Hope you enjoyed it.
All right, then. Take care.
Adios.
Hasta luego.